Hello everyone, welcome back to OCD Recovery's YouTube channel. I wanted to talk about social media compulsions, how that can kind of play into avoidance, the scrolling problems, the constant comparing problems, which comes from a belief system. I think it's important to realize that, a lot of people speak about that we have a comparing problem on social media, which is maybe the rising cause of depression, anxiety in kids. Not even so much OCD related. But we don't actually have a comparing problem. We have a belief problem. And the comparing is just the tool that people are using. The belief system, the conditional self-acceptance, the not thinking their life is good enough, the conditional life acceptance is what's basically doing that. Now, first, let me go into some of the terms. But before I do that, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, let us know what you think. Let me know if you're struggling with social media. And I want to talk about something that Momin wanted me to speak about in this video as well. But I do think it's important sometimes, if you've never seen our content before, what is conditional life acceptance? Like, what is that? Why would that perpetuate social media problems? So conditional life acceptance, in the basic way, it's conditional, which means something must be a certain way in order to have something. The simplest conditional examples is, I must have money to be happy, right? It's a condition on money in your life. So social media, in the way of FOMO, fear of missing out, is my life isn't good enough. If it was XYZ, if I was on the beach, I would be great. But that's just not how life really works. I got my sweet morning shake here. Terrific. So, conditional self-acceptance is, if I looked XYZ, I would be happy. And all those different things. And that can go down to body image stuff, if I had better abs. And then the scrolling begins and the comparison begins. But there's no comparison in an unhealthy manner when there's unconditional life and unconditional self-acceptance. Now, unconditional self-acceptance looks in the terms of, I would really like it if I had a little bit less fat around my abs, but it's not the end of the world and I can work towards a goal, but I don't need that goal to be happy. That way you could look at something and think, wow, that person's really lean. Like, that's so cool. And then realize, like, I would love to look like that, but, that might not be a feasible option for you right now in your life, and so forth and so forth. So it's really key to cover it in that regard. So when it comes to social media, the most important thing I think to cover is that social media is not inherently good or bad. It's like saying this, I just got this from my mother-in-law, this back scratcher is bad. This thing is so sweet, dude. This back scratcher is not good or bad. It's just a back scratcher. But I could use this for bad things. I could scrape someone in the eye, I could poke someone in the forehead, or I could use it to scratch an itch on my back, which is amazing. So it can be good or bad. Just like disputing your irrational beliefs can be good or bad. So social media can be used in an unhealthy manner or used in a healthy manner. Let's start with the benefits of social media, because I think that's really key to cover. The fact that we can talk to people all over the world is a huge benefit. That's a massive benefit. We have the ability to communicate with people in different countries and different time zones, spread information on OCD, which is terrific. I think that's one of the best things that we have social media for. Knowledge is key. We can look something that when you have to go to the library and search for a book, you could do, because the most precious commodity on earth is time. Whether you're trading your time for money or you're just investing in your time, time is the number one commodity that you actually can't get back, because from the moment you're born, you're dying. It's a great quote. So there are a lot of benefits to the internet, but there's a lot of potential negatives to the internet, which we're going to go into right now. And I'm going to try to pertain them to social media, specifically, and OCD. Let's go into the morning. We'll kind of go throughout the day. Let's go through an example of a day. You wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is start scrolling. Now, when I wake up in the morning, I answer emails, if I'm not going to the gym that day, pretty quickly, or I kind of get some scheduling done with one-to-ones and I look at stuff. That's because that's not a problem for me. It's not a compulsive problem for me. For many of you, it is. You're waking up, you have all sorts of symptoms, and you jump right to your phone, or maybe even turn on Netflix, or you sit in the bed. The morning routines are key. Getting up, brushing your teeth, taking a shower, making a breakfast, going for a walk. Getting a good routine in the morning is really beneficial for showing yourself that you can handle discomfort and you don't need the symptoms going right now. What you don't want to do is jump right to your phone and start swiping and swiping and swiping. Okay? Let's go to the middle of the day. Maybe you work from home. I think working from home is great for many aspects. I don't think it's good for everyone. I think working from home can be very problematic for people with structure. And I don't think people work as optimally from home as we think. Many do, but many don't. So very easy to, sitting on TikTok, on your couch, in your underwear. You're not getting ready for the day like me right now. I mean, I'm just sitting here in the morning, but I'm ready. I got my work pants on. I got, a dress shirt on, and I'm ready for the day, right? I've got my morning shake here, got my morning coffee here, which I can't show you the name of the cup because I'm going to show you the name of the cup. I'm doing it. I don't even care. Okay? Tell me how amazing that cup is. The reason I'm showing you this cup is because I got it from a patient of mine who just passed away. Great guy. He passed away last week. The one who I talk about a lot with emphysema. He had a great sense of humor. So I think it's really important. I'll make another video on that, gratitude. So the middle of the day, you're home from work and you are just on your phone all the time, which is a problem because you're kind of going into that short-term pleasure activities that are not actually substantiating anything meaningful in your life. That doesn't mean that you can't be on your phone during the day. I'm saying that if you're doing it to escape, that's a problem. Now let's go to the nighttime. Maybe your OCD is worse at night. Some people worse in the morning, some people worse all day, some people worse at night. Mine was particularly worse at night. Not so much in the morning, much worse at night, but none of that actually mattered because the fear was still there. So maybe you're having dinner or you live alone and you're constantly scrolling again. You're on your phone, you're always distracting yourself. That's a problem that will need to come down. And it's not the easiest to bring down when you don't even know it's a problem, but it will need to be brought down. Now, there's no guidelines on like, okay, so what do I do? How much do I use? It's a gray ocean that will look different from person to person. And inside that ocean is balance and moderation. Humans are horrible at cutting things out completely. I'm not going to drink caffeine anymore. You see a celebrity. I'm no longer using social media. I'm going off. That's avoidance. That is avoidance. Okay? Balance is key. You don't have to delete the apps off your phone. Sometimes we set that as an exposure in the beginning, but eventually you want to learn how to balance it. Okay? It's like anger management. In the beginning, actually leaving the room can be beneficial if you're so used to outbursts like I was. In time, that's not an applicable option anymore. You have to learn how to feel anxiety. You have to learn how to feel anger. And then think about it for a second and respond. You have to learn how to allow the apps to be on your phone and not run from them. That is so key. Delete social media off your phone. Social media is the devil. All sorts of black and white overgeneralizations. Social media is fucking sweet. Okay, I get to watch all sorts of stupid shit that Rob sends me of people falling off roofs. But I'm balanced with it, right? We went to a concert not that long ago, barely used my phone. Sometimes Eric and I go drive in the mountains. I don't even bring my phone. And Eric will be like, well, what if something happens? I'm like, we got your phone. We don't need two phones. Dinners are the same way. I never bring my phone to a restaurant. What's going to happen? You don't think everyone else in the restaurant has their phone? They all have their phone. Okay, if something happened, I'd be like, give me your phone, 911. I don't need my phone. So unless everyone had the perspective, then we'd have a problem, wouldn't we? That's a totally different story. So now let's go. I gave you a day, an example of a day of where people are kind of doing things that might be problematic. Now let's go into the reasons and the belief systems behind why people are doing certain things, such as comparing. The belief systems are, I can't stand the way I'm feeling, so I'm going to aimlessly scroll to make myself feel better. My life is terrible. Look at these people on social media enjoying their lives, and their lives are so much better than mine. And all those belief systems as well, which are really, really, really problematic because you have no idea what's going on in those people's lives. I'll drink it like this so we can't see it. We won't see the loveliness of that cup. And I think the hours spent on social media is the big problem. Again, it's not the comparison. The comparison is not the reason. It's not the genesis. It's the behavior that's happening because the person doesn't accept themselves as a human. which is not easy to do unconditionally. It takes some time to do that. So that comparison is happening for a couple different reasons. The belief is happening, like I just said, and the second thing that Momi wanted me to speak about. The second reason is that we have normalized this type of comparison. And something I speak about with my wife a lot, it's not easy for a non-sufferer to understand this. I have to explain to people. The books on the reading list, for an example, were not made for OCD sufferers. They weren't made for people with constant neurosis and disorders. They were meant for the gen pop, because Albert Ellis, as he said, lovely, people are crazy. So, and we have these irrational beliefs that distort our reality and then cause a plethora of emotional problems and then a plethora of unhealthy behaviors. Just because someone is not experiencing unhealthy chronic emotion does not mean the behaviors that they have are healthy. So the constant scrolling, the constant needing to be on your phone and all that stuff, which we all will fall into because social media is a product of our time period. You know, I had a great talk with someone one time and they said to me, we were talking about Zoom and I was like, I'm not really a fan of Zoom. I like being in person. And he said to me, it was a terrific quote. He goes, whether you agree or not is not really the problem. It's the way of the world, so you can get run over or not. I was like, holy shit, that's a great quote. I was like, that's amazing, right? But so many people think you can battle something that you can't stop. So technology is going one way and it's going upwards and more of it. You can balance it, but it's going that way. So social media will be a part of our life forever. And we look at the place where TikTok is now, people have such short attention spans, they won't even watch a 10-minute video. You know, they'll watch 6 seconds, 8 seconds, 10 seconds. And that's what's kind of perpetuating that belief system. And Moment said, just because it's normalized does not mean it's healthy. And I think that's really key to cover. Now, let's kind of wrap this up with some of my recommendations of how to use social media, because we talked about some of the belief systems perpetuating this, but how do you go about this in a way to where it makes a little bit more sense? I wouldn't recommend using social media right when you wake up. It's not that it's inherently bad in the morning, because I use social media, like sometimes I literally open my eye and open up Rob's messages and I'm like, okay, I gotta book this one. So, but if you're really suffering and you're doing it to distract yourself and run, get up, take a shower, eat some breakfast, go to the gym, get your day started, stuff like that. You know, I've heard stuff like, if you look at your phone 30 minutes before waking up, you're an addict. Nonsense. There's just nonsense out there. Social media is one of the biggest nonsense topics on earth. If you type in social media, go to TED Talks and all the stuff, most of the stuff that people are saying are black and white. Most of the stuff people are saying are conditional life acceptance, not unconditional. Social media is a part of life. It's not inherently good. It's not inherently bad. Your belief systems about social media are the reason why you're suffering. The end. It's that simple. It takes a while to break that down, but that's key. And limiting yourself. In the very beginning, maybe a week or two without social media might be key. Not posting might be key. We give homework assignments to people, not compulsively posting. I don't even post pictures of myself anymore. I might post a hike because I enjoy hiking, but I don't need to search for quotes or anything like that anymore because I'm not craving that acceptance. You don't have to post your workouts every day. If you own a fitness company, different story. Just something to think about. You don't have to post pictures of your food all the time. Social media is probably used best for knowledge, and that's about it, in my opinion. I will admit if I'm wrong. You might think otherwise. Keeping in touch with family members, constantly talking to people over stupid shit all day long is not really beneficial to our lives. Arguing with people, that's the other thing I want to talk about. Arguing with people on social media doesn't make any sense whatsoever. We don't need to argue with someone. We could state an opinion. They could state an opinion. Maybe go back and forth one time. If you start arguing with someone and trying to prove a point, it's because you're not accepting the other person's point or not accepting them. So these are all the things I want you to work on. Please, the biggest takeaway from this video is that social media is not inherently bad. It's not inherently good. There's good things about social media and there's bad things about social media. Realizing that is critical. So thank you so much for watching this. Remember, OCD Part 1, 2, and 3 webinars coming up. Please email phil@ocdrecovery.com if you're interested. It will be a lot of fun. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment down below. I'm actually going to do another part of this because I realized it's so in-depth. As I was speaking, I was thinking, okay, there's so much to this topic. I'm going to do another one that goes directly into the actual strict compulsions that we're doing. This was kind of a synopsis of social media, and we'll go into that as well. So thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.